What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Reflection Concept Vlog, episode number 1. I'm calling it a vlog today because really that's what it is. This might turn into a podcast, but I don't know. I'll have all that figured out by the time this gets released onto the YouTube channel. So my name's Anthony Pecora. I am the owner, the sole employee, the manager, the CEO, the decision maker of all sorts at Reflection Concept, which is my website, reflectionconcept.com, that is really just a landing spot for all of my creative endeavors. And basically, I'm talking about painting. I'm talking about music creation, a little bit of photography on there for now. There'll be some more stuff on there available for digital downloads. And there's some clothing on there too, which is a passion of mine. Some cool hoodies, some cool shirts, paintings for sale. And there's a landing spot, or there's a page that's just titled Music, drop down, that'll get you kind of spider webbed out to I always want to say Shopify. That's what I run my site on. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. I don't have a Bandcamp link on there, which is so stupid of me, and what a miss, because that's the one place you can actually go on and purchase my music. But any of those platforms, just search my name, Anthony Pecora. I have an EP and 2 singles out. Feel free to check that music out at any time. So I had kind of some cool stuff, I would like to think, some cool stuff planned for today, the episode number 1 here of the Reflection Concept vlog. But midday I had a little bit of a pivot because I got a shipping notification that a new bass came in for me. Only one. Actually, that's not true. But only one bass that I knew was coming in shortly. And it was this. I haven't plugged it in yet. But if you saw the time lapse of me in the intro there, the Joe Dart signature Sterling bass. There's been a lot of reviews out there, and my man Paul Thompson, local Pittsburgh bass hero of mine, had a nice review on this, and so have so many others at this point. But finally got mine, and it's a cheap bass, man. $3.99 on this thing, and I got to say, right out of the box, fit, finish, feel. Everything's really, really nice on that. But we'll get back to that in a second. Put that on the stand there. God, I hope when I plug that in, it works. Because if it doesn't, that actually might be some good content. You never know. But if you have seen me before, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Empire Music is where I work. And weird to say that's where I work. That's my 9 to 5. Because it doesn't really feel like that. I love what I do at Empire Music. And that gives me a chance to talk a lot about basses, talk a lot about really high-end basses a lot of times. Fender, specifically Fender Custom Shop. I've designed a beautiful precision bass, the Empire 58. If you are familiar with that channel, you've certainly seen me talk about those Empire 58s before. So I have a pretty good idea on high-end instruments. I love high-end instruments. I own 2 custom shops. I own a Castadosa Conchers. I own an Elric. Have a killer, what year was that thing? I think it was a 2003 Modulus Genesis bass, which is such a cool bass. Modulus body with a MTD neck on it, so that asymmetrical neck. Carbon fiber skeleton on the neck. Wood wrapped around it. Maybe I'll show it off later or in another video, whatever. So I like high-end instruments. So it was a little odd for me to even order this Joe Dart, but I might have the timeline screwed up. But like early last year, I want to say it was like April last year. Maybe they started going on sale for their pre-order last February, 2004. They made it closed in April. Again, I could have that screwed up. And like at first I was definitely going to get one. And then I was like, I'm not going to get one. Then I was going to get one. And then I wasn't going to get one. And then I was like, it's $400. And I'm not saying that's no money. I mean, $400 is certainly a sum of money. But I could afford it. And I was like, I'm just going to get it. So I got it late. So they started shipping in November. There's a lot of content out there on these things. And it finally came in today. So I had other things planned to talk about, because really the things that I want to focus in on this, we can kind of tie it all together, but on this vlog is going to be like really just like revolving around creativity, how to harness it. I'm really, really a big proponent these days, well, the past few years, of like streamlining that process to capture creativity in whatever you're doing. So if I'm painting, I'll say this too about me. I usually go, I ebb and flow between the two things. I'll be like heavy into music creation and then heavy into painting. I'm not generally doing both of those things at the same time, at least not current. It's been that way for a few years. I like kind of dedicating to one thing. I just seem to perform better in that area rather than spreading myself too thin, because I am a big fan of finishing things. God, I spent so many years not finishing things, and I beat myself up for it now. Now that I've gotten like good at finishing things, I think back to all the projects that I have failed to finish and see through to completion. Generally, any recording project that I was ever a part of that saw the light of day did not involve me, other than me playing bass, and getting the hell out of the process pretty quickly. Because honestly, I would overthink things and muddy up the waters when they didn't need to be. So, nonetheless, big fan of finishing things. I find that when I'm painting and only painting, and I'm always going to be playing some bass. I play every single day at work and in my free time. But like, there's a different mindset in like, I'm making a record now. That's the goal. Then I can't be painting. At least for me, the bandwidth just isn't there for me. So I really had the idea to kind of talk about those things. But then today I got the delivery notification, and it went to work over at Empire Music, that this Joe Dart bass came in. So I said, you know what? Like, this could be kind of cool too, to tie in. I know, SBL, Scott's Bass Lessons, Scott Devine and Ian Allison, both of whom I really love their content. It's always entertaining, honest, good, very informative. They just had their little vlog come out about like boutique basses and Feel versus Real and Mojo and all that stuff. Didn't watch, to be honest, as I say all that, I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw some clips of it. I was like cleaning up around the house and kind of getting the studio set up for this, doing some test runs on it. And because it was like, I'm filming this on a GoPro, and I had my Fujifilm XS20 that I usually will shoot my Instagram content. And follow me on Instagram, Anthony.Pecora, also Reflection Concept, at Anthony.Pecora, at Reflection Concept. Greatly appreciate that. I film a lot of that stuff on my Fujifilm XS20. But for this, and that's cool, and like for the artsy looking and like creative stuff, but the autofocus sucks on that Fuji stuff. I've never really figured it out. I got to upgrade to a Sony. I think doing some test runs for this really solidified that to me, as Sony's autofocus is really where it's at, I feel. So the GoPro actually for this thing worked better in the tests. There's some limitations to it. The angle might be, the lens is a little bit weird. The colors aren't always great on it, but it will just stay focused on me. And that chatter on the Fujifilm, just, I have a XS20, a cool vlog camera, but that autofocus thing's bad. And I have an XT5, which is like my photography camera, which I love for photography. But even that on video, maybe I don't have the right lens. There could be a knowledge base issue there. All beside the point, just to say that I was listening to the SBL podcast while just getting some stuff set up around here. And I figured, you know what? Since this bass is here, that would be a cool way to just show off this bass, because I think I think people are kind of looking to see what's up with this bass. I can give a nice honest assessment over it. And it would also tie into the creative side of things, the inspiration kind of things. Like, does this bass inspire me, right? At $400, let's plug it in. I'll tell you, a wireless setup really might be the way, because the number of times in a day when I'm doing anything that I run over these cables, who knows how my in-ears are even still intact right now. And that little clip broke on the back too. All right. Please, God, work. Please, bass work. All right. Into the mixer. Hopefully that level's good. All right. I'm running through my pedal board right now, but we're going to come in clean. Actually, let me turn the compressor off, and I'll run through some of my effects. I'll give you sort of a little sneak on I'll talk through the signal chain real quick. All right, here we go. I have played it, and I have tuned it up. Ready? Yeah. All right. That works. Sounds good. It feels good, too. It feels really good. No setup. I'm telling you, I tuned this thing up, and it's like right where I want it setup-wise. I also didn't intonate it. Yeah, close enough, right? In the time lapse, the only thing I did was I moved the little wheel there. Because look, could you hear that? Yeah, I can hear it there. That's loose. I don't know if it's supposed to be loose or not. There's tension on it, though, so I don't really care. That's what it is. It's not vibrating or anything like that. That'd be one thing to point out. And then the little toaster knob has a little damage on it. This thing's cheap. I'll probably replaced it. I like the look of it, though, a lot. But that's the only two things I could find. Fret works great on it. Everything's really, really nice on this bass. And it does have that Music Man thing, even with these flats on it, which I don't love these flats. These it's my first time playing whatever Ernie Ball flats these are. I've really become a big fan of the Labella low tensions. Outside of the tension, though, I just like those really smooth feeling flats. I've played some Rotos and some Tomastics and Labellas that have that really, really smooth feel on it. The Dunlops, I think, were pretty smooth, too. These have more of that D'Addario chrome kind of feel. They're not quite as polished, but they're fine. But you hear that Music Man thing. And I know this is I think this is a specially voiced pickup in there. I don't really care about any of the specs, too, on this. Am I connecting with the instrument? Does it sound good? Yes, it does. I haven't connected with it yet. We'll see if that happens. But the times I've played Music Mans or Sterlings, that character's even retained when we move up in the position here. It has that upper end kind of brittleness to it in a cool way. Slapping on flats, right? Flats are always way crisper than you think when you first put them on. All right, so that's that's totally clean, right? Now, my clean tone has become using the JHS color box, which I'm going to pop on here. To me, I roll a little bit of treble off on that. I might even roll a little. I'm not gonna, but I could roll a little bit more off because there's no tone knob on this. But notice how the difference there. Here, I'll turn it off again. Back on. I have a boost on the bass at 3 o'clock, mids at 12:30, and treble at 9. So there's that EQ sweep to it, but there's also that thing with like the Lundahl transformer in it. It's just killer. Just adds something. It adds that little saturation that I don't know what it is, but I love that pedal. All right, So now that's clean. So I'm going to run everything. If you've followed me on Instagram, I've talked about it. I've gotten into the HX Stomp world. I've gone to the dark side of a multi-effect, although it's a far cry from what they used to be. They're freaking awesome. All right, compressor. So like they're LA2A in it. This is also like kind of just become the clean sound for me. A little more darty there. I can't play like them, but I'm even looking at the wave file here in Logic this is recording, and you could see like that just gets bolder. Move the hand up. Bass sounds really good, man. $400. I notice a little ding in here. I don't think I did that. I might have done that though. So I wonder how soft this maple is. That's really nice with it. And I'm going to go back here. So I'll turn the JHS off and I'll turn that compressor off. All right, so here's clean totally. And then here, it's kind of like my starting point for clean. And I don't have, I tell you what's on order, the 29 pedals Una is coming in. So trying to like amp up that signal chain a little bit. And I'll quote Ian Allison again because I love his content so much. It's like that quest. Once you fall into a spot where you like your tone, you're happy with it. It's that you're trying to get that extra like 3%, 5% better tone. So putting that Una at the front through my pedals and then into the color box, I think is going to be really, really nice. We'll check back in on that. So here's with the color box on and the LA2A. And it's the LA2A in the HX Stomp, which is rock solid. Love that. Don't love these flats, I'm going to say that. They're really, really high tension. But at $400, I keep saying, man, this bass is really, really nice. All right, let's play with some effects then. Let's see, basic. Let's go out of the, so we'll keep the compressor. That's going to just stay on for right now into a pork loin. Not a pork and pickle, old school, big box, purple pork loin. Yeah, digging that. Let's see if I grab a pick here. I really think this bass might be awesome with round wounds on it. Cool though. All right, turn the pork loin off. Back to clean, and got some octave stuff there, but that's not really showing the bass. I feel like. Let me see. I got an envelope thing. Also has some like overdrive. I think I have an Ampeg scrambler in the mix on this envelope sound. So that's like the I forget what filter that is. Gotta have to go down through the pedal. That has a little bit of phase. Their phase 90 on it. The script phase 90 in the. This is out of the HX. Sounds good though. Like the bass. Strings are killing my fingers though. And then I have like a cool synth thing in there. I guess probably won't highlight the bass, but I love this synth sound. That's another, man, I'm shouting him out all the time, Ian Allison. I've always struggled with synth pedals. And I had done the like fuzz with some modulation and stuff in the past, but he had a good video. I don't know if it was a full length thing or something I just saw on Instagram, creating a fuzz sound or creating a synth sound with that kind of setup. But there's a little bit of sage advice as he often gives. Very simple to follow too, easy to understand. He's so enthusiastic about it too, which is killer. And a monster player that really, I was like, I'm throwing out my synth pedals. The Banana Matryoshka and like the SY200, which are cool, but like, I don't know how accessible those sounds are all the time. Whereas this, in a mix, killer, right? What the hell? We'll do some octave down. Love that. Some fun. Let's put the overdrive on that. Woo! That's crushing. I'm digging that. This octave down I found in the HX, man. I love the way like I would never play my OC2 down here. Personally, and this kills low on the bass. I'll go back to clean. Little delay. Space Echo RE202 has overtaken the Echoplex as my favorite delay pedal. Calling for a pick. Reverb on it. let's go back to clean. Turn all the junk off, right? Oh, there you go. Without the coloration from the color box, turn the compressor back off just to give one more quick A-B on that, because I think that's valuable. So straight up bass. I like that, but man, I love what I get from kind of my signal chain. Color box, LA2A. Yeah. This is a great bass, man. I'm enjoying it at $400. I mean, I'd be enjoying this at a few $1,000. I'm not gonna lie. This thing punches way above its weight class. It looks cool. It feels really, really good. I don't love the strings on it. I'm gonna fully admit that. That's just personal preference. The knob was a little bit chewed up, and I'm not sure. I'll let you hear this again. That's a little loose on there. I don't know if it should be or what, and if it doesn't seem to be affecting anything. And then there's one little ding that was here, and I very well could have done that. But enjoying it. I'm looking forward to spending a little bit more time with this bass. And I don't gig out that much these days, but I could see myself, I could play a gig on this bass, and I would travel with this bass in a heartbeat. Not that I'd ever want to lose it, but if something happened to it traveling, I wouldn't feel super, super bad about it. So the Joe Dart Sterling from Music Man, a non-paid video about that. But I appreciate you guys checking out vlog number 1. And again, this may become a podcast. This may become a podcast in the future. We'll see how that all goes. But Reflection Concept vlog number 1. My name's Anthony Pecora. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate you giving me a follow on YouTube, which is under Reflection Concept, which is where this is at. Hit me up on Instagram, which is just at Anthony.Pecora. It's also at Reflection Concept. And then reflectionconcept.com. You can take a look at all of my artwork, buy some paintings, buy some t-shirts, hoodies, which are super, super premium garments, limited quantities. And there's also a landing page on there for my music. Spotify, almost did it again and said Shopify. That's who I host my site through. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, Bandcamp, all that stuff. Check out some of my tunes. Greatly appreciate that. And above all, thanks for watching. See you next time. Thank you.